Hi Hannah, so here's my attempt at verbal feedback. You'll have to let me know if you like it. So we're looking at a lesson that is specifically designed like a pre-writing lesson, how to write informative text and how to organize that information. Taking the kids to the library, so gathering, how to pick a topic and to pick points to speak about. All right, excellent, good. I like your essential questions. How can pre-planning help me with my writing? I hope that those essential questions would be like written on the board so that you can refer back to them as you're moving through the lesson plan, because I think those are really great ideas, good things to talk to kids about. I like your essential question that deals with internet technology as well. So, that being the case, we rely on the written word more than ever to communicate. How can we express our passions and opinions in a way that will make others understand? That's an interesting question to ask kids, because I think they think, I post on Facebook, my friends like my comments, I'm therefore an effective communicator. You and I know differently, don't we? So your students will be able to pick a topic and provide 4 to 5 ideas, concepts, and or pieces of information from at least 3 different sources that they would use in their paper. I see your note to self, is this too specific? What skill am I addressing? No, I think that it's actually a good job, right? In your students will be able to section, I think that having something really specific and really measurable is both good for you and the kids. There's no question whether students either will or will not meet this goal. Your students will understand is I think where you're addressing that skill, right? They'll understand several information organizational techniques and which works best for them. So I think this piece, what skill am I addressing, is actually addressed over on this side right here. And I think that you address it well. So your assessment, whoops, sorry, problem scrolling here. There we go. All right. Obviously, your summative assessment, right? They're going to turn in their outline with their topic and their points. Your formative assessment, right? Moving around and checking their work, helping them out with topics and points, so that you can really be individualizing your feedback to them. All right. So on to the learning plan. I love that that you at least are thinking about what will I do if a student is struggling to think of a source, and having some of those pieces ready in advance. Probably smart thinking on your part. So, oh look, and there it is. Before the lesson, have the essential question written on the board. Nicely done. Okay, I like the fact that you're scripting things out, that you're talking your way through it and imagining what you would say to your students. When you say things like, today we're going to pick topics, but before we go on to that, I want to point your attention to the second question. How should you pick a topic? Good idea. That may be the moment when you would like to pause and get feedback from the students, exactly like you're doing. Let's brainstorm on this, raised hands for suggestions. Good idea. And this is always such a tricky thing as an English teacher. You're going to have kids choose controversial topics that you may not want them tackling, especially this is a 7th grade plan. So, just kind of have those things in mind, be ready. Sometimes it's interesting in middle school especially, limited choice can actually help kids. Some of them get so hung up on what topic they're going to choose that, they can spend a week wasting time on that. And so having for kids like that, having some limited choice topics on a handout might just be something to think about, something to help you out. All right? All right. So, I love this. I want you to put a little mental pin in the credible data part, because we'll cover it when we go to the library. That's great. So remember, if you find your topic dull, that it's going to make writing this paper a lot harder. And that's a good thing to know, because you want kids to be intrigued. It'll make the writing process so much easier for them. Encourage them to write about things they like, even like video games, favorite singer. Beautiful ideas. Beautiful ideas, especially at this pre-writing stage. Okay, so here's your direct instruction piece that you're talking to them. Organization is a big deal when we're writing, and take a second to look at it. I love, very G.I. Joe of you, right? Organization is half the battle. So going into paper without being organized is like going to fight a dragon without your sword, right? It helps you keep your thoughts straight, helps you brainstorm. and displaying your pre-made outline on the board. And I love this. I'm giving you a copy of the outline. Do not write on it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hold on to it. On a separate piece of paper, make their outline. For the next 6 minutes, brainstorm what you would like to write on. You may think over in this differentiation area, if you have a kiddo who isn't a terribly linear thinker, would you be okay having them outline in more of like a mind map, I think? Would you be encouraging kids to use different colors for different levels of their outline? Something like that, rather than just mandating the standard outline, might be a nice idea over here in the differentiation area. Okay? So, next step, look at your brainstorm ideas. I assume during this time right here, you will be moving around and helping them out because you'd be surprised. In 7th grade, they'll get stuck very quickly on this, okay? All right, so think about why you're choosing the topic. I love all the thinking that you're mandating, the time frames that you've got in there, okay? And saying, we're back up here with me, we're on the home stretch. This assumes that everyone has a topic chosen at this point, and so, like I was saying, you may want to think about having some limited choice topic ideas on a piece of paper to hand out to kids who struggle over in this differentiation area, okay? So, talking about sources with pros and cons, so glad you're mentioning Wikipedia. That's just, all kids use it, and it just drives us English teachers nuts, doesn't it? Okay? Great. So then you have, right, don't forget to fill out Roman numeral 1. We're working in the library tomorrow. Really good. All these notes to yourself, I find them very interesting. You ask yourself questions like, do students know what informative essay is? Should I make that the first lesson plan? Do they know how to write informatively? I've got to tell you, I wouldn't assume that they do, because that is such content-specific information. Even if they know it, they'll need a review on it. They won't necessarily remember. And showing them, just a small clip of a well-written informative essay could make for a really good lesson plan, making this lesson plan you turned into me here more like lesson plan number 2. Overall, though, really nice job, Hannah. I like your attention to detail. I like a lot of your ideas. Love the fact that you have this outline included in the end, too. Nicely, nicely done.